This is James Patrick, and I am totally excited about this show. We were wondering today, are we going to have anything to talk about? And the last 2 hours have been insane. So I have the very esteemed author, J.L. Rothstein, our friend, and to my right, my better half indeed, Florence Carmela.
Hello.
We are very excited. There was breaking news about 45 minutes ago. And first of all, there's kind of a war going on a little bit with networks and podcasters and different things. We're not all that liked, and we're not a huge podcast, but last night, our first person that was watching our show was the ABC network. So we had announced that we were going to talk about the Bachelorette. So, of course, Florence got very worried that I was going to say anything offensive, which I did. But the thing is that we're honest here. We tell it like it is, and we tell the truth. And now ABC agreed with what we said. Florence, you break the news. It just happened about 45 minutes ago.
Yes, it looks like ABC is canceling The Bachelorette. They are not going forward with the new season. Apparently, a video dropped before this decision was made, and it looks like Taylor, Frankie, Paul, they can't go back. I mean, once this video was dropped, right, Jen? I know you saw it. We saw it. There's no way to dial this back. There just isn't. Nope. So they've decided that they will not go forward with the new season of The Bachelorette. And this is what we talked about yesterday. And again, the ABC network was in our live, like during our live when we were talking about this. They were actually the first ones on the list. So we were kind of like, wow. And it looks like they agreed with our assessment, which again, especially after seeing the video today, Jen, what did you think? How do you not agree with this?
Oh my goodness. So apologies. I do not watch a lot of reality TV. I don't watch, my nieces watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette all the time. So I've seen it in passing when it's been on TV with them, but I don't watch it. And so yesterday I was listening to your show and it came up and I said, I don't know who this person is. And I went just before coming on with you to look it up, and there's the video from TMZ, and my mouth is open. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to get on with them, and this might come up, and I cannot believe what I just watched. I just think the violence of that, there is no way they can promote that. And if she did that deliberately, for whatever reason, it was very foolish. It did not look staged. It looked real. It looked like a person unhinged. That is what it looked like. Yeah.
And
with a child in the room was just horrifying.
Heartbreaking.
Her kid, and I've said it before and I've been attacked about it, but a lot of these family vloggers are toxic. These mommy vloggers are toxic. I remember a challenge was to see how much you could get your kid to cry on camera.
That's child abuse, by the way.
I mean, this is sick. Look at what's her name, Frenchie or whatever she was that got arrested and did prison time. I mean, a lot of them are Mormons. These are very popular, but allegedly we are also, as we always say, we always forget, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're just having a good time and we're just having fun. We're not
your opinion,
throwing out,
my opinion.
Just opinions. So, but anyway, a lot of these vloggers are very toxic, and it's funny that some of these young vloggers, family vloggers, they end up, their numbers skyrocket when they have kids. Wow. And some of them are having kid after kid after kid, and their views just go through the roof. And when it's just them, no one cares. No, hardly any watch, hardly any view. It's their kids. The kids attract them, some for all the wrong reasons, but people like, who doesn't like a kid or a puppy or a dog? And so that's why they do it. It's very toxic. It's very, you should not expose your kid.
No.
What if you're talking to your kid about something private or something health-wise? They don't have the right to say no. And that's why they're trying to pass laws making adults not exploit their children for views so they can make a buck. And it's just ridiculous. But if you didn't see the video, this lady's 5'0"
Yeah.
She is she had maybe 100, 110, I'm being generous, 100, 110 pounds. She's got a kind of a big boyfriend, and she just goes off on him, runs up, jumps on his head, pulls his hair, just starts hitting him. He says, please, you always do this. Stop, stop. Her daughter, her kid, I think she has a daughter, but her kid is right there. I don't know if it's a son or a daughter. The kid's on the couch. And then he finally stops her. She gets her second wind and just runs at him. Again, a good Mormon housewife. And I'm not, I just, a lot of these this is very popular among females in the Mormon culture. There's actually podcasts about it.
I guess this is the
online.
Secret life. This is what's secret.
The secret life. And she just starts kicking him in front of her kid. And I'm just like...
Well, she threw furniture, too. The video shows
she threw a chair.
She threw, like, the little stools you have up against your island. She threw 2 of them.
Yeah, it was so hard to watch. And I want to just say, I also saw, and TMZ's been all over this, her ex-partner, I believe it's the father of the child, has gotten a restraining order against her, and I believe he is now suing for custody of the child, an emergency custody situation, because obviously, and I know that the video is not from this year, but still, this doesn't matter.
This is, everyone gets into fights. Everyone yells at the top of their lungs with their partner. Everyone gets frustrated and angry, but you don't start throwing furniture at them. You don't start kicking them.
Especially with your small child.
Oh my gosh.
Sitting there.
But that makes you think, like, the comfort level, like the comfort level she had to do that. Like, it couldn't have been the first time. Like, your first time is not that. Like, this was full blown attack, throwing furniture, no care about who was around, daughter or otherwise. I mean, I find it hard to believe that would be the first time. And imagine, Florence, if this wasn't on tape and he had told that story to somebody, they wouldn't have believed him. They would not have believed him.
You're right. They would not have believed him because she's so tiny and he's a man and he's bigger than her. And the little girl looked like she was in shock. And like you said, she probably had been in this situation before, and maybe at this point, they say children in their minds go someplace else when something like this, because they're so terrified.
And it's the problem is too, is you have a generation that's been taught almost that it's okay to hit a woman. If you go look at all the videos online where a woman is going after a guy, or he's slapping her or holding, a guy will just haul off and you could kill them. You are 100 pounds heavier, 50 pounds heavier, and you'll read the comments. She deserved it. He should have done that. She's lucky she didn't get more. Hundreds of comments, and then I'll put up, no, don't hit it. Walk away. And that's what I give kudos to her ex-boyfriend, is that he walked away. He didn't hit her.
But he was smart enough to tape it. He was smart enough to tape it.
Yes.
Because he knew no police officer walking in there is going to believe that, looking at the 2 of them. And she's got some sort of notoriety online or whatever. They're not going to believe it. So he got it on videotape. But that kind of violence, you can't promote that on either end, whether it was the other way around or it was her. You can't promote that. You can't give that person, that kind of platform to promote themselves. I know these reality TV shows, they like the drama. That's a little too, that's not drama. That's something else. That kind of, that's true violence. You cannot have that.
But could you imagine if this show did go forward and something happened to one of these bachelors, to one of these men? Not knowing, because maybe if they wouldn't have taken this far and shown video and gone into this situation and looked for other things and just took her word for it.
That's why I think whoever produced this is done. They are going to get fired for this, because they need to do background checks. And I know they love the drama. Look at excuse me, Southern charm. They all sleep with each other, and then they hate each other, and then they're fighting with each other. And the
It's like the Real Housewives.
Yeah, the Real Housewives, where they're in their near 60s, and they're ready to beat up each other. I mean, it's just hold me back.
Flipping tables.
Yeah, hold me back. And I'm like, oh my God, shut up.
Yeah.
But you can tell that's all manufactured. Like, you don't get a sense that that's real. I mean, even if they're playing it off well, you might be shocked for a second, but you don't actually then stop and think, oh, that's real. There was nothing fake about that video.
Yeah.
That was
We
very
said that
real.
yesterday.
It was very real.
Yeah, we said that yesterday, that reality TV is scripted.
So ABC, thank you for joining us yesterday.
Thank you. That was such a great surprise.
And thank you for taking our advice and canceling the show. Now they're going to get someone else. They'll look in San Quentin or somewhere else to see if they can get a good Bachelorette. But that's why I said at the start, here's a lady that did domestic violence, cheated on her ex-husband, and has 3 kids, and she's out of control, and 22 men are waiting in line for this magical person to come down.
And like I said,
if that doesn't scream dating in 2026, I don't know what does. That's crazy.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a good thing this happened. And we do watch the ABC network.
We like
support
ABC.
them. We love ABC.
Love you.
This was shocking, though. This was surprising. And I thought to myself, God, they are in for it if they go forward. That's why we're glad that they didn't, because so many other things could have transpired if this new season had taken place.
And there comes a time when you got to do what's right. You got to stop endorsing this kind of nonsense. These are not reality shows. They are so staged. It's ridiculous. We talked about it our last episodes. These are fake shows. They're not real. Now, if you talk to, we know people in reality shows, we've talked to them. Oh no, it's real.
Yeah. Colin Macy O'Toole is the one that always comes to mind. Below Deck Med.
It's just real, so real. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, come on. So, and the thing was that what we've got to do, we're kind of the problem because we like this stuff. You look at all of the TV shows.
It's popular.
They're horrible. There's too many people making movies, too many people making TV shows. There was a bunch of articles at just the lack of quality in movies. Our movies are so horrible, but the first time in history, a few years ago, a foreign film won the Oscar, and no one watched it. No one saw the film.
I think that's why Netflix and Hulu and all that is so huge, because people just don't go to the theaters anymore, because what are the choices? What are the options? It's better to stay home.
And a shout out for our culture too in the 80s and stuff, when music albums are going to surpass 2 billion in sales this year. And for the first time ever, it started 3 years ago, classic music that's at least 20 years old is outselling present music. And young people, God bless Gen Z, there's a lot of stations out there, and millennials, you guys are catching on. Albums are cool now, and there's popping up stores everywhere. Napa has one everywhere, and I'm telling you, some of the funnest times I had was going into a record store, just getting bootlegs or getting records or getting whatever. It's just so much fun, and now you're seeing young people get them, and I think that's so cool that they love the older music.
Yes,
and
Gen Z is the best.
Yeah, we love you, Gen Z.
We are the best. Love our Gen Z.
Yes, we love them.
I love being Gen Z.
Yeah. But
I'm just saying, we do. We had the best upbringing, and
we do. So
you're
thinking of Gen X. You're Gen X.
Wait, you know what? You're right. I'm thinking of the wrong one.
It's a lot of stuff we're throwing on
the young people. I know.
No,
he's talking about the younger generation now listening to.
Yeah, the younger generation.
So you're talking
70s
like
and 80s music.
My nieces and nephews.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
we are Gen X.
Yeah,
right.
We're Gen X. But the thing is with you guys is that I think hopefully this will give more responsibility to these shows that if you've ever watched other shows, there's been shows in Japan and I think Japan and some other places where reality contestants have passed away during the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy some of the things
is
that they do.
Is it waning at all? Like, is there any survey or any evidence that reality TV is waning? Like that less people are watching it than used to watch it?
all TV is waning. If you look at the TVs now, when we grew up, I mean, shows were getting 10, 15 million a
Yeah.
week. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember looking at the Frugal Gourmet, and he would get 12 million views a week. And now you can't find, it's hard to find a show on television that has 1 million views.
Yeah, I think
So,
the biggest example of that, Jen, is the Kardashians. When they were on the E Network, they got millions of views. They ended up moving to Hulu. And I think part of the reason was after 10 years or so, not that they still don't have a fan base or they still don't have people watching, but I believe as the years went on, like anything else, the next fresh new thing comes up. So, I do believe, I mean, hey, it's definitely a moneymaker,
Yeah.
reality TV. There's a million shows out there. So obviously they're still making money from it. But my biggest example I could think of is the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Because at one point it was like, even like Below Deck Med, we were saying how we had Colin Macy O'Toole on, and several times he's been on our show. And when we had Colin on from Below Deck Med, it was the #1 Bravo show. And
Yeah.
it was, oh my God, it was so popular. So I think it still is popular. I don't think it's as
yeah,
popular.
TV in general, and there's so many
Yeah.
streaming channels that it's television is having a real rough time because they
Yeah.
can't. It's hard to get a show that is really that popular. You look at wrestling, they AEW can't draw 1 million on any of their
Right.
shows, and WWE has had a downturn. They're like 1.5 million, I believe, in shows, and up to 2 million. Where during the Monday Night Wars in the '90s, they drew 4 to 10 million per
Yeah.
show, and they were on at the same time. So there were times where 20 million people were watching wrestling on Monday night, and one of the shows was taped. We just did, I think, the 39th anniversary, the famous, the most watched wrestling show in history with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant on Saturday Night Main Event. That was taped. It drew 33 million people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
33
just so
million.
your thesis is that there's too many streamings and too much actual material for any one of them to get such a large population to be
Yeah,
watching
and it's
it
a
at the
lot of
same.
pressure because you have to throw
Yeah.
out shows quick. You got to.
Yeah.
There's so many to keep up, and the shows aren't that good. And there's no real television. I've tried to watch some of the new shows; they're just
So hard.
horrible. And the movies are so horrifically sadistic and violent, or very sexual, that after a while you're just like, this is just like teeny bopper
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
slasher movies. And
Yeah.
I feel bad because that's why a lot of young people are starting to go to older music. They're going to older films. That's why they keep doing remakes
Yeah.
and these films, because the young people didn't really see it. So now they look
Right.
at, wow, this is amazing. So yeah, it's lean times and it sucks for us as consumers because we want good stuff, but it's just they've run out of ideas. When you're doing Ghostbusters 5 and all this other crap, you lost your ideas.
Yeah, when you're going back to the well for certain things, yes.
Yeah, and Ghostbusters 2 wasn't all that good, so you need to stop. But
Wow.
marketing, last thing, marketing. Look at Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus won Razzies. That movie was considered the worst movie of the year, and it got, I believe, a 31% rating on Fandango or one of these sites on Tomatoes, Rotten Tomatoes.
Hmm.
And then Disney took it over about 7 years ago, did a massive marketing campaign, and now shows it on and on every Halloween. Now it's considered a classic by millennials. They love it.
Right.
So because
Yeah.
of Disney's marketing campaign, and it's still a horrible movie. So, but
I think
yeah,
they're
it's
coming out with the second one, right? With all the same
Yeah.
actresses just later, like the
ugh,
next
Yes.
generation. Be
Yeah.
something
ay,
else
ay,
for
ay.
James to talk about.
Oh my God. I just, it's so easy to keep us going because there's so
I
much
know.
caca out there, and it's just, you guys they make it too easy. But we got other stories, but that
Yeah.
Bachelor thing,
Oh,
man, that,
Yeah. That broke right before we
and
came.
people will
yes.
say, well, who cares? Who cares? how would you like to be an advertiser and you just spent $5 million for a
I
minute
know.
commercial or something like that, and now the show's not going on? The network is going to lose a lot of money. Now, of course, they'll get someone else. They'll do background on them, and it'll delay the show.
More careful this time.
Yeah, it'll delay the show, but still, you're mad because you want it during a certain time. You pay for it, and now you know what do you? I didn't even know what they do. Do you take the money back? Do they keep it for the next show? I don't know.
I don't know.
But
that's a lot of advertising dollars they lost though, because
millions.
Yeah.
And the lady, she would have made 10, 20, 30 million dollars being on this show with endorsements and all the other junk that she would have done. And I mean,
I do wonder though, when you sign up for something like that, don't you have to disclose? Don't they ask you? I don't know how the background check works, but was she honest? Did she tell them? Apparently not.
I heard the background check was kind of an FBI check. And as long as you're not doing federal crimes,
as long as you're not on the most wanted,
yeah, it's copacetic. As long as you don't have any, you know, I think the DUIs is something they worry about, or drug charges, or domestic violence. That's why when this broke, I think they would have eventually stopped it. But with TMZ, they're all knowing. TMZ
they're
is
lucky
like Oz.
before. It's lucky.
Yeah.
They're lucky they did it before it went on. I mean, I'm assuming they filmed it already if they were about to launch it. No?
Well, that's a good point.
I don't think they have.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I thought they filmed that ahead of time and you had to keep quiet until it came out.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's true, because I know like
that
shows
could be.
like Hell's Kitchen, like Gordon Ramsay, because they film it here in Connecticut at Foxwoods. It's filmed like the summer before.
Yeah.
It's released.
Yeah, and they have to stay quiet. They can't tell anybody what happened until
you could be right.
You could be right.
ABC's already put all this money out for this woman to have done this. So I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot if they've already spent the money to film.
That's okay. Let's see what other show we could try. No, I'm kidding. No. I'm kidding.
Like I said, we love ABC.
We love
this
ABC.
Was just a particular situation that they found themselves in. And again, I think they made the right choice.
I have a tattoo of ABC on my ankle. No. I love ABC.
Well, let's move on because we do have another big story. We want to keep talking about Nancy Guthrie. Like I said, we've covered it since the beginning. And again, there's a lot going on there too. It looks like the FBI is back in her neighborhood. And we had mentioned yesterday that there were neighbors. Jen, I don't know if you heard about this. There were neighbors that lived in the area that moved, 3 men who lived in a home that moved when Nancy was abducted. And apparently, at least this is what some of these sources are saying, one of the guys kept coming back and then leaving and then kept coming back. That was one thing that they're now heavily looking into, is who these neighbors were and why did they leave all of a sudden? Like, why did they suddenly pack up and leave? And the other thing is there's construction in the area, and now they want the names and addresses of all the construction crew that were there at the time. In other words, when all this was going on, the abduction, there was a construction crew there was construction going on in the neighborhood. I don't know how close to the home, but apparently the FBI are back in the neighborhood.
And remember, I told you about that story in the Bay Area when that man was missing, and this lady built this beautiful fountain in the backyard, and she 8 years later had a fight with her boyfriend. They broke up. He went to the police and told on her. She had put him in the foundation of the fountain. And so what better place to go put a body than a construction site? Because once that's built, you can't do it. I don't understand. In a lot of these cases, there's a machine that you use sonic waves, and it goes into the ground, and it gives a kind of a picture, an X-ray, if you will, of whatever's in the ground. I can't believe you can't do that in certain areas that you could do it. I don't know why they don't use that.
They might have. I don't think it's a very big device. The ground penetrating radar.
It's heavy. It's heavy. Yeah, it's heavy. I think it's kind of heavy.
But I'm assuming they did that in like her backyard, or like when they were searching that other area. I'm assuming they did some of that, but you can't do it on somebody else's property unless they give you permission. But I mean, usually when the cops go around and say, hey, this has happened, someone's missing, they're knocking on doors and they're like, can you tell us anything interesting, anything you've noticed in the area? You'd think somebody would have said, well, we've got these 3 guys here and they go in and out and in and out and now they're gone. You would have thought that would have drawn someone's attention. Like you would have thought somebody would have said that to the police as they were knocking on doors.
I know.
I'm telling you, I don't think they really use sonar finders that much in these cases, and I think that that's something I would want to use. I don't know if it's super expensive. Cost is always an issue, but I would look at all the tapes and all the videos of the houses. I still don't understand why that hasn't really been brought up much, but I would look at all the houses tapes. Yes. I want to see what's going on in that site at night. Is anyone doing anything over there?
Yeah.
Because obviously even the family thinks she's gone.
Yes.
And this and I still believe it's someone close to her in proximity or in relationship. I still can't believe
they haven't released the vehicle back to
the
son-in-law. And it's like, why are you holding on to that vehicle? You normally only hold on to that vehicle if that's going to be brought up in a case later on down the line. You don't normally keep it once you've cleared somebody or have said, okay, this doesn't relate to the case. And yet that vehicle has not been given back to them. So
that's
and
true.
no one's talking about that either. And I find that to be very strange.
Yeah. One of the things, though, I will say, and I was watching Nancy Grace today. Shout out to Nancy Grace. I love her and I love her show.
P. Diddy.
We love her and her. I love her accent. Yeah, I love Nancy. But she did say now that they have proof, they have timestamps, and they have video that this perpetrator or an additional person was at her home before this night. They're looking at, I think, 3 different dates in January where they have now timestamps of people, of a person or people that did visit that home before this happened. That's another thing that Nancy talked about. The last thing she mentioned was, and James, I had asked you about this, where she had somebody hacking into her account. So there's all these things that led up to that night. There's people showing up on her property and in her door, her camera ring. It doesn't even look like it's the same person that originally we saw photos and video of. Then you've got neighbors suddenly moving, picking up and leaving 3 men at the time that this occurred. And now there's construction crews they're looking into, and she was hacked. No, we didn't know any of this until recently.
I mean, have you ever known anybody who's ever been hacked? Like, you just walk down the street, your neighbors, you're like, have you been hacked? I mean, most people have had their email or something, or, most people, maybe their Netflix got stolen because somebody wants to sell it or use it or whatever, but actually hacked into their computer, like, I don't find like is that as normal as maybe they're trying to.
I asked him because I didn't know either. I'm like, what is that about?
Well, that's normal.
It's not normal, but it does happen. I got hacked a couple of years ago. I was probably doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and nothing nefarious or sexual or anything.
You clicked
but I mean,
on a link or something, and
I went on a guy. He told me he had an article about the Raiders. I clicked on it, and it went to nowhere. And I immediately thought, oh boy. Usually I would clean my computer out. The next day I couldn't log on.
Yeah.
And with all the beautiful AI, it's impossible to get someone to help you. So it took me about 3 days to get my account, but I did get my account. So it does happen. And even celebrities.
And with older people, maybe she was clicking on things and it happened, but it really, when you say it like that, it seems like there was a lot leading up to that. And it just, for them to say that none of those led them anywhere is just amazing.
Crazy, right? Especially knowing, because they had the information, they had the videos, they had the photos, everything, that they had come to the home before this night. There were 3 dates Nancy said that they were looking at for January, right before this happened, because it happened January 31st into February 1st. It was in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So again,
and
I know they can't tell us everything. I get that.
Right. Like, but she must have never looked at her camera, because when they had those 2 different pictures where they were saying one of the pictures they released was actually taken prior, not on the night in question. And I'm like, can you imagine? It must not have alerted her to look at it, which is weird to me. What's the point of having it? You would think if somebody shows up on your doorstep in the middle of the night and it captures an image, it should alert you the next day. Hey, someone was at your door at 2 a.m. Like, you might want to go look at that. And so she must never have looked at it to see these photos. Because can you imagine, like before, like way back then when that image came up, you'd think you'd be calling people and being like, this person showed up at my door with a mask on and, he left. But hey, I've got to alert people and let them know that this happened.
People are weird. There's a show I watch sometime called on YouTube called Scary, and some other shows that are popular. That one show, all it does is show crazy ring videos.
Yeah,
and it will crack me up. I saw one video where these two guys in masks came to the door and they knocked on the door. They didn't say anything, and for like 2 minutes, the person is trying to have a conversation. Who are you? What do you want? I don't know you. Call the cops. Why are you conversing with these guys? Avon. I mean, what are they supposed to say? Domino's, pizza,
and I
Uber
imagine
Eats.
with an older woman in her 80s, because I have a mother, who's an older woman, sort of same situation, medical issues, all that. We constantly talk to her about, someone calls on the phone and says they're your grandson and they need, Nana, help me, I need money. No, Nicholas is going to call my brother. He's going to call your son. He's not going to call Nana at 2 a.m. begging her to help him.
That's a popular one that works though, Florence. That one works.
I know. That's why we talk to my mom all the time.
They're using the AI voice and they're getting a voice that's very close to whose voice that is. So that's really troubling. That one is in particular troubling.
And I imagine
going up a tourist like with a mask on. It's like, don't converse with that person. Like, just.
And that's why I wonder.
Who are you? I'm a burglar.
And that's why I always wonder. For all we know, these men could have knocked on her door prior to that day.
I mean,
to just see if they could talk to her. I mean, you don't know. And again, the police may have so much more information, and maybe this is why they sort of got away from the family. And I don't know, Jen, if you had heard the other day, we talked about this. The family passed lie detector tests with flying colors. There was nothing. They couldn't find any receipts, anything, any paper trail, anything leading to them. And they all passed lie detector tests. So again, maybe they know, so obviously they're going to know more than us, but maybe it always led the trail always went toward strangers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now here's before we get into it, it's my favorite part of the show. Before we get into our next thing, Jen, why don't you share your book, your wonderful book and your trilogy?
Thank you so much.
Sure.
I've got this is Atonement book 1 in the Heaven Sent series. So this is a fictional fantasy novel about heaven and hell fighting on earth, and each book follows one of 3 sisters who are pushing back against demonic interference down here on Earth. And so Genevieve O'Mara is going to kill something she shouldn't, and it's going to come back for revenge. So it's a lot of fun. There's a little bit of a mystery, and there's a lot of family drama in it. So please, if you want to support me, please buy Atonement Heaven Sent book 1.
At Amazon or wherever books are sold. I always wanted to say that.
Wonderful book.
But get this one. I guarantee you, just get this one and go for it. And once you get hooked, you're going to want the other 2. This is a great series. Yes. So we love it. Heaven Sent series on Amazon or wherever books are sold. This is a question that really got the internet going today. And I want to ask you guys what you think. I'm not going to say what I think until you guys answer. There was a situation where a woman, about 30s, and she had her headphones on and she's sleeping next to the window. It's in the day, but she has the window drawn, and another child from behind them wanted to sit at the window. So the parents said, could you change? And she said, I'm really exhausted. This seat's comfortable for me. And I'm going to, I'd rather not. I would rather do this. The kid, I think, was like 6. Kid loses it, just starts screaming and crying. So the parents are vloggers. They're family bloggers, whatever they are. They tape this woman the whole flight,
Oh,
an hour flight. They contact her. I think they either contacted her boss or the video went viral. She got fired from her job. And this is what I'm going allegedly from what the post says. And we all know AI is involved with a lot of these things, but they had video of it. And do you think the lady was wrong? She paid for her seat. The kid was obviously wanting the seat. What do you think she was in the wrong? And two, do you think she should have got fired?
Jen, you go first.
Oh gosh.
That's a hard one.
This show's hard, man.
This is so tough. I mean, I could see how people, so this is my thing. This is parents with small children are very similar to people that have pets. You just make this strange assumption that everyone loves your children, that everyone loves your pet. Okay. I love pets. I love children. I have no problem with either one. That doesn't mean that everybody does. And I just think that this lack of self-awareness, like you asked the question, which I thought was kind of nervy to start, but you asked the question, she gave you an answer, you accept it, right? Like this is normal life. Like, will you switch seats with me? How many times you walk into a bar, there's a single seat on either side, and you say to somebody, do you mind moving down? If they say, yes, I do, I want to be here, you can't make them move. They're not wrong to move. They're sitting where they're sitting. Most people will move down. But if they don't, you can't just be mad and tape them and attempt to get them fired. I think in the attempting to get someone fired and losing their livelihood, we have to stop that. We have to stop that. And that is very bad just in general. Like, we should not be saying this person and how they acted and whatever their view is cause for firing. Cause for firing is if you're a bad employee, okay? The fact that you wouldn't move your window seat has nothing to do with your employment. The kid screaming uncontrollably speaks to the parenting. That is on the parents. If your child is out of control to that extent on an airplane, you should look in the mirror. That is not on the person who wouldn't switch your seat. That is on you. You have an uncontrolled child. And if you really wanted to give them that experience, you should have bought a window seat. Like, this is not everybody else's problem that you're now on the plane and your child wants to sit in a window seat. Everybody wants the window seat. It's a window seat. That's the point, right? Like, I don't see how that was her problem. And the videotaping, you could just videotape somebody for an hour without their permission and put it online. Like, where are the guardrails here? Like, nobody would want that done. The woman who did it wouldn't want that done to her. Like, do you want us to follow you around and see how often your child flips out? Does your child flip out in the grocery store? Does your child flip out in school? Does your child? Maybe we should follow you around and videotape you all night. And then we should go to your job and say, this person doesn't know how to raise children. Should they be fired? Like, we have to be very careful what we're doing here. I think that there's a lot of wrongs. I don't know why she wouldn't move seats. But she didn't, and you should have accepted the answer and taken it. And that should have been the end of it.
I agree.
Would you have?
If I was by myself and the little kid was there and they were really interested, I mean, I might have. I mean, it may not have meant that much to me, but if I was comfortable and I was almost asleep, like, I don't know. I think different upbringing, right? Like, we're of a certain age. I feel like if somebody asks me something, generally I try to accommodate if it's not a big deal to me. Like, I don't think I would have put the window seat as that much of a big deal. I probably would have moved, but that doesn't mean she should have. That doesn't mean that somebody listening out there should feel like they should.
All right. I completely agree with everything Jen said. The only thing is, and James knows this about me, I am not comfortable flying. He could fly every day. If he, had to fly regularly for travel, for work, he has no issue. He absolutely loves it. I don't mind flying, but I'm not as comfortable. I will fly to go to California. Obviously, we have family there. We work there, all that. I have flown to other places. That's fine. I don't know if it was he and I together and they wanted to separate us and have me go sit somewhere else.
That's a no. That's a no for me.
I don't know if I
No.
could do that because I
No,
would
I wouldn't
need
do
him
it
with
either.
me. And it sounds bad because I know some people are like, oh, like what's the big deal? And it has nothing to do with children or pets. I was an educator for a very, very long time. I worked with preschool, kindergarten. I love children and I love animals. He knows that too. I love all that. But as far as the flying, I don't know if I would have moved, only because
Yeah.
again, I would need to sit next to him because I get very, very nervous as we're taking off type of thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, but
It's
I
such
just
a
think if
hard
it meant that
thing.
much, they should have bought a window seat for the person. And I think if
Yeah.
someone approached you, Florence, and said, "Well, can you move over here?" and now you're separate from the person you're flying with, it's like, no, I'm gonna sit with the person I'm flying with. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, I think that would be ridiculous too. But this culture
Yeah.
that we just whip out our phones and tape everything, and then we feel like it's okay to
Oh.
put it online, and then we feel like we can just troll these people and find them and get them fired. Like,
Oh,
I don't think this is a good precedent to do, and I think
Plus,
eventually
you
that's
don't
going to come
mess with
back to you.
people's jobs.
you
You
could
don't mess with
edit
No.
their
it, and
money.
you could
Yeah.
edit it into making that person
Yeah.
look
Or
bad. But I'm
mask
with,
them, mask
yeah.
them and just say this happened, and
Oh,
let people make judgments. But to actually track them down and find who they are and go to their boss and call them and say, what? This person's a horrible person because she wouldn't move her seat, therefore she's worthy of being fired. My guess is they got more than one phone call. My guess is they got overwhelmed and didn't want to deal with it,
Yeah.
right?
And I was going
Because
to
it
say
doesn't make
shame
any
on
but
the
sense.
but
company.
here's the
Yeah.
thing:
Shame on
is
them.
she's now suing, and I think she'll win because
Oh, I think she should.
I agree with Jen. This entitlement that people. I remember my dad and my mom saying one time, "You may be the prince in this house, but you're just a regular kid out
Yeah.
there."
Yeah.
I
True.
may spoil you here, but you got to realize you got to watch your P's and Q's in public, and that's how we did it. I think this entitlement that if a kid doesn't get what he wants, you see it in adults. If they don't get what they want, they just go nuts, start tearing things up,
Yeah.
yelling and screaming. It's just such ridiculous entitled mentality, and it's just why didn't you go on earlier and get a window seat if your kid?
Yeah.
I think at the last second, the kid just said, "I want to sit there, mommy," and she said, "Okay, honey." Well, let's turn the
Yeah.
axis of the earth and get this. Oh, the spoil.
Yeah. Well,
I
obviously by
love
the
school
outcome,
because of this. Yeah,
right? By the outcome, if the kid's screaming and won't stop, that's a child who's never told no, right? Like,
yeah,
that's not a normal reaction. Like, maybe at first they're upset. Maybe at first they're like, oh, I really want to say. But, like, I know my own great nieces and nephews. They're all from 9 years old and under. There's not one of them that would have had that reaction on a flight.
yeah,
First of all, my nieces and nephews wouldn't have asked. They would have
yeah.
said, nope, this is your seat. You're going to sit in it.
Yes.
But the reaction to be flipping out and screaming and crying is a child who's never been said no to. And that is not a normal reaction. And you, by the
No,
way, are not setting them up for real life because guess what? Real life isn't fair. Real life is filled with no's. So you should be preparing them better for behavior and for that type of situation. And you're not doing them any favors. And if you think you
Yes.
no.
won something by getting her fired, just beware of karma. Something's coming for you because that's not okay. And that on
No.
any level.
No, I agree. But the parents, it's up to the parents to discipline their children. It's also up
Yes.
to the parents to teach them, like you said, outside of this home, you're not always going to get your way. I
Right.
know, like I think about my sisters-in-law and my brothers who have children, and when their kids were little, they never would have let them. It would have
No.
been like, this is where you're sitting.
Yeah,
This is where we got this. This is how it's going to be.
This is
And
your
they would
seat.
have, yeah, that's it. And,
Yeah.
and the thing about the job, when you're messing with people's livelihood,
oh, that's
Not
that's
okay.
wrong.
I.
And
It's not
shame on the
okay.
company that
Yep.
fired her.
And she's going to
Yeah.
win a lot of money
Yeah.
because this
Yeah.
was a wrongful firing. This was stupid. You don't fire someone for some
Because
stupid
they wouldn't
post.
change their seat.
Now, speaking of stupid posts online, I put up a post about I got in trouble with Frontier Airlines. They for the third time kicked a deaf person off their flight. And what had happened is a young, sweet girl in her 20s, just minding her own business. I guess she didn't give the flight attendant the attention she demanded. and said she's not paying attention to me. Well, in big bold letters on her ticket, it says deaf. The lady didn't look at it. She went to the pilot and says, I demand that lady get off the plane. She's disrespecting me and she's not paying attention. I don't want her on this plane. They are taught, unless something really is crazy, they follow what the flight attendant does.
Mm-hmm.
The plane started getting ticked off, and the girl starts crying, and she goes, you guys are so nice. I just don't have the heart to delay this plane. I'll come off. And she left. And this is the third time. So I did a post about it, a little irate about it, and it got thousands of views. And all of a sudden, I'm getting followed by Frontier Airlines agents, Frontier Airlines PR, Frontier
It's been a crazy
Airlines.
week, Jen.
Yeah, so they're following me. Is there anything could we talk to you? Is there anything? And I said 2 words: fix it.
Yeah.
Fix it. Take care of that girl, and then we don't have to talk. I want to talk to you. I don't like airlines. So, so that's what I just said. I wrote him back. I said, fix it. But it just cracks me up that common sense is just void. I can't handle it anymore. It's just, this poor girl's deaf. Good Lord, she's handicapped. And now you're saying she's not giving me the respect I demand. Oh my God. Have you ever had a bad, you've flown a lot, Jen. Have you ever had a situation where a flight attendant was just, because some of them do get a little hoity-toity.
Oh.
They're like HOAs.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
No. Yeah, no, they you can get some that just get aggravated when you hit the button and ask for something, or, they come down and they want your empty cup, but it's not empty. And you're like, oh, well, and then you got to get the trash later and they're mad. Like, there's some that just, you're not really sure why they're flight attendants, because the whole entire job as a flight attendant is customer service. What can I do for you? How can I make this flight better for you? Yes, they have safety checks and they have other roles that have to do with safety behind the scenes, but mainly they're front facing. This is your essentially your airline in walking motion, right? Like, talking to people. How can I help you? What else can I do? Like, and sometimes you just find them to be people that would just rather not be there or not talk to you. And you think, why are you in this job? Like, it's a complete mismatch in terms of that. But I think it's like anything else, right? If you have to fill the seat, right? If you have to fill that role, if you have to fill that job,
I pay for that gas. Yeah, because it is expensive for them to run. Airlines are expensive, but the thing is that look at all the times we bailed them out. What do they do after they get back on their feet? They raise prices. They raise them up the roof. Thank you, public, for bailing us out. Now we're going to screw you. It just cracks me up. But I had one time that was the worst. I had my little laptop. I was doing work and my laptop under the seat, and she just kept saying it's not far enough. Not far enough. And I mean, it's like almost under the person in front of me's feet. So I'm just like, how far do you want me to go? She goes, well, why are you having attitude? I go, ma'am, I'm not having attitude. I said, because you can't make them mad, because they will kick you off the plane. I mean, it's, and I just, most of them, it's a hard job, because what people don't realize is most of the airlines only pay these guys when they're in the air. Yeah. And that's not a lot of money. So they're not getting rich. So I get it. And the public can be a big pain in the butt. I just saw a video in a fast food thing that a guy pepper sprayed I think it was McDonald's or somewhere, pepper sprayed the person taking the money because he said she was too slow. Oh. I mean, it's just getting crazy where people's just so entitled and they think they deserve everything so fast. So I get it. Dealing with the public's hard, but if that's not your thing, I remember calling one. I called AT&T one time. Now they're going to be mad at me, but I called AT&T one time. The guy told me he wasn't making sense, and he goes, "You know what? I don't have a lot of patience, so you have to listen to what I say." Can you imagine in customer support? Go,
at least he said it.
I don't have
most
patience.
of the time they just don't say it. They just don't have it. Like at least he told you. But yeah, I mean, customer service is tough.
sir, I don't have the patience, so you got to listen. I said, I feel you. Don't worry. I'll listen. So I got my note paper, my beautiful ball pens, and I wrote down all the notes. But yeah, so I kept it down in the down low, though. I didn't get in too much trouble. Only 2 airlines were mad at me this week. So
like I
and
said, it was
ABC,
crazy.
ABC.
Yeah, well, ABC wasn't mad at us. They just wanted to see what we
Like,
were
what are you
about.
talking about?
What
They
we
wanted
talking
I bet you they
about.
wanted to see if it was out. They've probably got people who've been watching it, seeing like, is this thing gonna leak out? Is this gonna blow up in our face? And it
What do they
definitely did.
know? What do
Yeah.
they know?
Well, ABC did a little PR thing. They had pictures of her, it looked like she was in church and she was looking at birds and all
Born
this
again,
stuff. And
I
I'm
know.
thinking, oh my
I
God,
think she
she
needs to go
just
back to church. I think she needs
Yeah,
a
she
little
just-
confession.
she just attacked her 6'2" boyfriend and jumped on his
Fearless.
head.
I mean, if you have no fear, you're attacking a huge man. I mean, and you're so tiny. Ugh, I don't know many women who would do that.
She needs to get an MMA, man. She's
Yeah.
got skills. She's
not
got
afraid,
skills.
that's for sure.
She has no
Well,
fear.
at least you better beware if you're going to rob her or come up behind her. She's coming after you, which good for her, but not
she can
at your
defend
boyfriend.
herself. Yeah, she
And
can
the
defend
poor
herself.
guy was as cool as ice. He's just going, "You're doing it again. You're always doing this." And I'm like, dude, leave. Stop sitting
Maybe
there.
he really is. Maybe he really is like a in the Mormon church. Maybe he really was trying to work with her and get her to stop that. I mean, sometimes people
And maybe-
believe they can change you.
And maybe he didn't want to leave the little girl, his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, when you're getting kids involved, that's just the horrible. And like I said, these reality shows, we like to poke fun at them. And you realize, I have to be real honest with you. I could care less what the adults do. It's they're responsible. It's when they get their kids involved. That
Yeah.
really ticks me off, because here these kids are watching, it's not even their mom beating someone up. The
I
mom
know.
beating someone else up. What do you do?
It's daddy.
Well,
Oh
and what are
my-
you
Help me,
teaching?
Daddy.
What are you
Mommy.
teaching that little girl? Like, what are you
Help me,
teaching
Daddy.
her? You're teaching her conflict resolution is physical. That's what you're teaching her in that moment. You're saying, we don't agree on something, and it's okay for mom to just jump on top and hit him and throw things at him. That's
Ugh.
not what you want to teach your children. That is not
No.
okay. Like, it's
And
not
again-
a good example.
How terrified.
And thank you, TMZ, because I'm telling you right now, if this video didn't come out, they would have went ahead with the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It would have
Absolutely.
been the drama. She would have been on her best behavior, dressing cute as could be, and it would have just been a farce. And
They're on top of everything.
Yeah,
I have
but-
to say,
but it-
TMZ.
but it is intimidating though when you do, and it shows you guys when you do post. These corporations watch and they show
Yeah.
you. I don't know how many times I posted something. We had an issue, I believe, with American Airlines, and within 5 minutes, they were calling me. They
Yeah.
gave me my direct line. I was talking, and they were fixing it. What can we do to fix
Jim
it?
gets results.
Well, they say, could you put that post down? Like,
You could
get
just take it
rid of
down.
that?
Take
Yeah.
that video down.
They always say, could you take that down? Because we've helped you, right? You're happy? So, and I'm not special at all. They do it to a lot of people, but it is funny. If you do ever have a problem, go online. And I mean, not if, oh God, they didn't put enough onion on my hamburger.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
nothing
Something
simple,
real. Something real.
yeah, but if it's something like, wow, they ripped me. I just saw a story today where a guy spent $3,000 cash at Best Buy. Best Buy, he went for I think it was scooters or something, and they had a relative had bought the scooters, some other scooters or something. So they came back for a refund. Best Buy wouldn't give it to him. They said, we don't have that kind of money. We don't hold this kind of money. So he says, well, can't you even give me 1,000 or something? I paid you with cash. Here's my receipts. And they go, what we'll do is we'll mail you something in the mail in a week. So we'll repay you in the mail. And she also said it's probably going to be a gift card. So they're going to give a Best Buy gift card, and really he's not going to get a refund.
Yeah,
So
that's I mean, I think that those are state level rights when it comes to your
Yeah.
consumer rights. You know, we live up here on the East Coast and they're a lot more strong. Like here, you can't do that. If you go back and you want
Yeah,
cash,
West
they gotta
Coast
give
you
it to
can't
you.
either.
They gotta give it to you. Go figure it out. Send someone to the bank. Like, you know what I mean? They can't just go give you now they can give you a gift card if you don't have a receipt,
Yeah.
but if you have a receipt and you show you paid in cash and you're within the window of when returns are allowed, I don't think they can do that here up on the East Coast. I think you have a lot more rights, consumer rights, or a little strengthened.
Ours you have, and first of all you banks and all these people, why in the world, in today's world, when we pay, the money goes in like instant, and when we get a refund, oh, we got to process it for 7 or 10 days. What? No,
Yeah.
give it back to us. You have the money. Some say they invest it because there's so much money involved that they could do it. If you got 1 million people that you're doing this to, like look when you do food orders, Instacart or whatever, they'll hold $10 to $15 and you'll get it back whenever. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And that's what bothers me a lot with these companies. Customer support is dead and Techie killed it because they're the ones that started Google and all these other ones with no customer support, only AI. And it's really frustrating because I think a lot of people, if I pay them $3,000, first of all, don't give Best Buy $3,000. But if I'm paying them $3,000, why in the world am I not getting $3,000 back?
Yeah.
I mean, that's you have no problem taking the cash, but you don't have $3,000 in your safe.
Of course
Give
they
me a
do.
break.
Of course they do.
So that was another story that went viral, and some people, all men, said, "Oh, he should have read the fine print, and it was his fault. And, he's trying to scam him. He paid cash. How are you scamming him? He just wants his money back."
That happens, and there's a lot of people that still use cash today. Despite the fact that they're starting to do things now in the treasury, like there's no pennies anymore. They're not going to have pennies anymore, and it's like, how are you going to do that? Like, how many times do you see something at $9.99 or $12.99? You're not going to have pennies. How is somebody supposed to give us cash back? So I think eventually they're going to push it to go away.
Yeah, this is why it's interesting. I watch a lot of business videos from Japan, and Japan is as advanced as it gets. I mean, they are just so far ahead of us in technology. But what's funny is when they do business, they still use fax machines. They still use ledgers. They still use they write down bills. It's amazing how they and the people that own the businesses, they say we do this because it's out of respect for our customers. We want them to know that we're doing the best for them and that it's a personable thing. And I just think it's really, that's why I love Japan, the way they run businesses. They're very respectful to their customers, and it means a lot to them when they get good remarks and people are appreciative. So it's just a different culture, but it's just kind of interesting how they still do things the old way, and they're holding on to it, where we got robots now in restaurants. Now, the last story, you guys, I need to get what you guys think. If a robot was your waiter, could you handle that? Would that be something that you want? Because I don't know if you saw the robot that broke, and it's, instead of serving the people, it started dancing like it was in a club. It was the funniest thing I ever saw. This is in a restaurant.
Florence could take this one first, since I had to take the last.
Yeah. I'll answer this first. This is a quick answer. I don't know if I would care that much. Obviously, I think it's nice to have a waitress or a waiter. I feel that personal sort of touch they give. Also, like when you're tipping and stuff, it kind of feels like, that, I don't know. I just can't imagine robots being waiters and waitresses. But I have seen that video. I've seen videos. I've seen them deliver packages for different companies. I'd prefer a person, but that's just me.
What about you, Jen?
I want a person. I think that's a no-go for me. Like I'm all about the robots in the warehouse, and you're going to be more efficient and do stuff. I also think it depends on the type of restaurant. Like if we're talking about this little pub thing or like a lower, but like if you're going in and you're dropping $100, $200 for you and whoever you're with to have a nice meal and maybe a nice bottle of wine, because we're always talking
Yeah.
about wine here. I don't want a robot delivering it to me. I want a conversation. I want to, even though I understand the whole point is supposed to be that the robot got the order correct or exactly right or something, or is more efficient. That's a no-go for me.
What if it breaks out in dance? What do you do?
You would just start laughing, because what else could you do? I mean, it's so ridiculous.
There was one in Japan in a restaurant that had a temper tantrum. It went in its back and just started crying. It's just unbelievable because they're trying to give it human feelings, and they're trying to make it feel like a human. But could you imagine? Here's your steak,
No.
and you're eating, and then Chaco the robot starts doing the break dancing.
You're certainly not helping it at all. That is for sure. You're not by giving it that feeling. You're not helping out anybody at all.
So ABC, if you need any help against your competitors, give us some videos, and we'll help you out. We'll all
help you
in.
out. We're all in to help out.
Thank you guys all for watching us. We are very grateful. We're going to have a special guest next week that's going to be a lot of fun. And so don't miss that. 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, Amy. So we're going to have a blast, but it's always great.
Amy Trask, California time.
Yep. Please, I'm telling you, you will love this book. It's a one-nighter. You can't put it down. Atonement, the Heaven Sent series on Amazon or wherever books are sold. And I'm actually reaching out to a couple people. We got some things coming up in the future that's going to be, even Jen doesn't know about this.
Not yet.
That we're working on is going to be very special, and I think she's going to love it.
Oh yeah, and I didn't break, and I should break on this thing that WickedCon in Boston has accepted my application, so I will be at Boston WickedCon in May. So that will be all over social media soon.
We are going to be doing a live. I
Super
finally
excited.
get to talk to my friend Alan. He's got to dress up. Got to dress up. He's got to.
We love Alan.
I want him in full Darth Vader garb. I want it.
We want to interview him as Darth Vader.
Yes, that's my dream. But
I'll let him know.
Yeah, like I said, it was a great, always fun to talk to you. Thank you all
so
for your
much.
time and your
Thank
energy
you.
for us. And
we'll be back next week.
We appreciate all the comments, and we'll see you next Thursday. And Florence and I will see you Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Take care. Have a great week, end of the week, and a weekend. Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye.
Bye.